Hi guys, Jackie Wolf here, and well, today we're going to be talking about something a little bit near and dear to me, which is, well, Battletech. It's a game that I grew up with and have a lot of fond memories of, but it's also a game that spawned a lot of video games and media that I like. And I'm kind of upset about this, I'm not gonna lie. And this is like the third time I've had to record this, so let's get into it, right? Let's get into something that I just really don't want to talk about. Okay. My publisher canceled me in favor of an activist who threatened my life. For those who don't know me, I am an award-winning best-selling author in numerous genres. I have been a speaker at the U.S. Naval Academy, the National Archives, and the Smithsonian on subjects I write about. I started my writing career in a science fiction novel called Battletech. Battletech was made into a cartoon video game series, board games, and novels about giant robot war machines called battle mechs. Catalyst Game Labs is the current license holder for Battletech, which is licensed by Tops and Phonetics. Now, we're talking about Blaine Purdue, or Pardo, however you pronounce his name. He is a U.S. naval vet from my cursory understanding of the guy, and a core lore writer of the Battletech series, having spent, well, 37 years writing for the series. mm, this is some of the problems. In January 2021, two people complained to my publisher, asking that the books I wrote be pulled from publication because they allegedly contain hidden Confederate messages. Catalyst Game Labs responded that my political beliefs did not matter so long as they were not in their novels. After a lengthy review of my books and my social media accounts, the company found no political message, hidden or otherwise. I actually remember this, and I also remember that Mike Stackpole was also attacked around the same time for roughly the same thing. Because one of the ways that these people work is they divide fan bases and try to destroy the core beliefs of the fan base. They offered one of the protesters an opportunity to publish a short story in the hopes of appeasing him. I warned the company that the man was an online stalker who had been harassing me for nearly 2 years. Later, law enforcement would discover that this man was using a false online persona, that of a self-proclaimed lesbian nurse who was adopting two children. Catalyst Game Labs ignored my warnings. This is why I said that it is entirely possible the two people that originally complained were one and the same. Because this person has various soft puppet accounts on both Reddit and Twitter from what I have been able to dig up. And this person has actively attacked the Battletech fandom. In March 2021, my first conservative political thriller, Blue Dawn, was announced with a different publisher, Defiance Press. Outraged, my stalker contracted a fellow writer with the following directed at me: I want to fucking shoot him in the fucking crotch for this shit, and I want him to die in a fire. Which is credible threats, actually, given that he has been stalking. The police got involved, and after investigation, a judge put a protective order in place because of the multiple threats. In reality, my harasser was a 39-year-old man living with his parents. He had been fired by his previous employer for issuing terroristic threats. He was charged and pleaded guilty. The man was a convicted criminal. Yeah, this guy is a convicted criminal that uses several public accounts. And quite honestly, this is something I saw a lot doing political stuff, that you would find one person using sock bucket accounts or bot accounts to push a narrative. And in many ways, I think this may be the same case. And I think that Fanatics, being a little bit over depth since they mostly deal with sports fans, uh, well, pulled the trigger and did something really stupid. However, that doesn't mean that you should not be screaming that they shouldn't have done this, because not understanding a space is no excuse, especially when that space was established before you bought into it. I moved on. I can or conceded with the release of Blue Dawn. Our conci- I wrote articles for conservative websites such as the American Thinker, Town Hall, American Greatness, which this is where this is from, and others. I made it clear to Catalyst executives that I would mention my soccer in some of these articles, an example of woke extremism. Catalyst president replied, "I would do the same thing if I was you." Publishers that overthrow conservatives are that throw conservatives under the bus, but they're, yeah. See, here's the thing. Like, his stalker is basically living off of fame at this point. Now, yeah, I probably would have done the same thing, but the problem is his stalker's getting off on this, and as I've said, a lot of the woke activists do the same thing. They use a lot of sock puppet accounts and a lot of bots to do the same thing. Our networks, there are various YouTubers where I have uncovered that they didn't have a huge following, but they would trigger somebody with a huge following by tagging them with certain key phrases that, well, let's just say would make them be considered one thing or another. And none of this is actually pleasant for me to talk about. When my last Battletech novel, No Substitute for Victory, was released by Catalyst in February, my stalker and a small handful of people once again complained to Catalyst, Tops, and Phonetics. They took numerous statements from my social media out of context to paint me as an insurrectionist, a seditionist, and other outright lies. Again, this is right out of the woke playbook. It's happened to me, it's happened to various people I'm surrounded with. And what's even worse than that is what woke people tend to say they protect are people like me. The cultists just don't like people like me who think for themselves. The smear campaign was led by a man who had threatened my life. I was told that Fanatics asked my publisher to make this go away. My publisher's solution was to inform me that he would no longer publish my work. Well, okay, so because somebody hated him, he was canceled. Does that sound fair to you? Does that sound like does that sound right at all? No, it's not right. It is not right at all. It is downright a terrible thing. I asked if he had verified that the protest was not a handful of people using stock accounts to make their case appear larger. He told me that he had not checked and that it did not matter anyway. It also did not matter that the quotes in question had been taken out of context or fabricated. And this right here just points out exactly one of the biggest problems with with corporations dealing with wokeism. They do not verify that these are sock puppets. They don't go and ask actual people things. They just go, oh, well, Twitter said it, so it has to be true, or Reddit said it, so it has to be true. There is actually a lot of people that use sock puppet accounts that are destroying a lot of cultural institution games and whatnot because they can and they actually make money off of this. I noticed how other Catalyst contract authors and artists voice some radical, progressive opinions far more offensive than anything I had ever posted. My publisher indicated that he would talk to some of them. Conservatives tend not to complain, while the left sees offensives everywhere, which is kind of true. That being said, I'm not exactly what you would call conservative. And I'm not getting into political discourse because, well, that's kind of, it was hurting me a lot. He informed me that my beliefs were alienated half of his customers. I pointed out that sales and ratings for my latest novel were on par with previous works. Then he told me sales didn't matter. Again, this is a very, very odd issue with a publisher. Not that, not something I quite understand. Because, well, you should be publishing to make money, and if you want to make money, that means you're selling a good product. So, what is he afraid of? Why is he afraid? And Furthermore, what's going on behind the scenes here? I offered to write under a pseudonym, like several of his other offers. He refused. Then I pointed out the most egregious aspect. You literally siding with a person that threatened the life of one of your most productive and popular authors. Ignoring that, he had assured me that it would or that he would communicate his decision to release me to his fans. He never did. Yeah, because you don't just get rid of the popular author. You get rid of somebody like that and you have problems. And they didn't want to say anything because of that. To be clear, my views are not especially radical. There's the same opinions held by tens of millions of others Americans. Yeah, most conservative values are not. Like, I agree with a lot of morality statements from conservatives. I also agree that the six pillars are important. While I was getting the Gina Carano treatment from Catalyst, I was proud that I didn't have to cave to those woke warriors. And that is something we need to stop doing. We need to stop caving to these people. Such corporate knee jerking to a minority of left wing woke whiners does alienate the fans, conservative fans. This is simply censorship. It can happen to any conservative who dares voice his opinions. As a result, many of my fans will no longer see my work in BattleTech simply because the publisher feared online backlash. Meanwhile, in his extreme left wing, authors can spew their venom without fear of retribution because conservatives don't whine or threaten or complain on Twitter. And again, that is something of an interesting point. And quite honestly, I don't know if whining on Twitter is a thing. You see, a lot of conservatives I've seen or call out this stuff often get canceled, which concerns me greatly. Even though, as I've said, I'm not traditionally a conservative. Conservatives need to speak with their money by supporting conservative publishers or those companies who opt out to ignore politics of their creative staff altogether. See, I would rather not have this. I don't like the idea of conservative only publishers. I get that those exist, but I more say that those that companies that opt out to ignore the politics of their creative staff is probably the better option. But then again, I also favor the ideas of free speech in the open marketplace, which puts me at odds with wokists in the first place because, well, that means there are critiques of ideas and they don't tend to like that very much. Publishers that throw conservatives under the bus out of fear seem to have forgotten their core business. They should focus on producing good content, not letting woke mob decide who works for them. Unfortunately, that is actually fairly common in all business places right now. And it's never because of people or the large crowd complaining. In fact, it often ends up breaking the company, causing them to lose money and destroying IPs that many of us enjoy. And it is quite sad, really, that one or two people with a sock puppet account on Twitter or Reddit can cause such big amounts of problems. Caving puts the mob in charge of what content you produce. It's a lesson that both Disney and Fanatics Catalyst would do well to learn. Yeah, it is something that a lot of companies should be learning. It is something that a lot of YouTubers have been calling out for a very long time. It is something that, well, a lot of us a lot of us have been saying is a problem, but yet for some reason all these companies just don't understand what's going on or don't care to. And it is a very sad thing. A very sad thing. It means that core writers for Battletech lore are getting canceled. It means that, well, there's this contingent of people that are complaining online that actually don't care about Battletech. All they do is care about ruining a good time for other people. And I feel that I'm justified in saying this. Not because I want to say this, but because it is the truth. And, well, I'm not a big fan of ruining things for people. But for the most part, that's all wokeism ends up being. These people are celebrating this stuff. These people are constantly doing things that are constantly doing things that they themselves have called out. The dude's a conservative writer, but he writes good books. And I may not agree with his political views. I may not even care. But when it comes down to it, it's one of those things. Like, cancel culture comes for Battletech and Blink. And this is the Archcast, which Arch is a friend of the channel. So, well, Gibbs is a friend of the channel. Arch is as an acquaintance. I know several YouTubers. Catalyst just axed one of their longtime writers because some commie terror stalker claimed Bane Pinot was a white nationalist, insurrectionist. Catalyst purged him and then, rather than protect him. But you have Antifa Commander, a real thing, right? These are the conversations that are happening. Honestly, this poll is silly. The results are vastly in favor of Purdue being removed prior sudden influence of nearly 500 votes, and then RHPG cherry picks the botted vote and acts like the botted votes after that were bad. If you voted before, please do so again. But that's the thing. Kind of new here. Can I get a two? And then it's blame Purdue a long time, in my opinion, subpar. Even though most actual BattleTech fans like his books, BattleTech author was given the boot for his constant hard right hate spew. The usual crowd is now throwing a fit. As if conservatives actually ever throw a fit when problems happen. But it's just sad. Comment on my play or comment on my blame Purdue short. Being held accountable for what one says or does equals have political opinion or worldview that differs from my ideology, which is put at risk by my dissent or opinion of it. Funny how you right wingers think that being held accountable for what one says or does is cancel culture. Boohoo, I was a nasty, hateful piece of shit. Now no one wants to listen to me or read my work. I've been canceled. Oh no. You don't even know what he did or didn't do. And that's true because none of these people actually read. All they do is follow what one person says, what one sock puppet says. They are no better than the paid activists that are destroying things on the American streets. They are no different. These people can't even think of anything. They can't think of anything original. Blame Purdue was one of the best things to ever happen to Battletech. Don't support. But again, this is on a platform where 40% of the user base is basically bots, where most of these people are either bots or shields for stuff they don't know anything about. I had somebody actually send me a DM is why I'm even making this video. that knows absolutely nothing about Battletech asking me if I knew who Blaine Purdue was. But, you know, it's the thing. Like, this entire thing is just dumb. Brain Purdue got let go of and instantly went to doing the old, oh, woe is me, I am but a simple conservative bitch waffle, attacked by the cancel culture and woke, etc. Insert your own buzzword here. But that is true. That is actually what's going on. Of course, then again, he says BLM. You know, I'm so sick of this. Let people write. They have different opinions. So long as they're not out on the street burning down buildings, throwing bricks through windows, I don't see a problem with somebody expressing their opinion. And the fact that you're crying, the fact that people are attacking people, is the problem. Bigotry has no place in hobbies. CGL Battletech made the. I hate to tell you this, but no, they didn't. They made a terrible call and have caused nothing but backlashes and further destruction of the community. But that's the thing. It doesn't matter what we write, what we say, or what we do, is the only people whose opinions allowed to matter on the internet or in media in general is the woke. And that is something I could scream about politics all day long. And most of you people would never get it. Most of you people don't understand anything that I have to say about it. So I went back to talking about gaming because that's what a lot of people that listen to me understand. And this is what I've been warning you people about for a very long time. That it doesn't matter what hobby you hide in, where you hide from. These people don't want you to have fun. They don't want to be anywhere near or anything like that. They will never let you go or never even stop. And that is the big problem here. And it'll never end. It'll never end. But I'm going to read this entire thing that I wrote. I'll do it in Reader. And this is who I pinged. Canceling a core loresmith of the Battletech over a fringe minority that don't even support B2. Which is true, because if you actually looked at the people that destroyed Warhammer, the Sid Marxist crowd, most of them didn't even collect Warhammer stuff. Screaming is dumb. I don't care about his politics IRL, only that he wrote books, and I and many others willingly bought because we liked his style and the setting, which is also true. I grew up reading BT lore, bonding with people over MechWarrior and the tabletop. Even had the support from most conservative community for, well, yeah, I openly admit I have gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia issues. Canceling is not Battletech, rather growing and sharing is, which is true. I don't know. I am just a dumb tranny VTuber. I was born intersex. See, that is just it. People don't understand who I am. People don't understand what I stand for. The woke will tell you that I'm this extreme right wing person. The right will tell you I'm an extreme left wing person. In all honesty, I'm just a person somewhere in the center that wants to play games and have fun. That wants people to be free to have their own choices and opinions. And it's stupid to me. It's all stupid to me. It never gets any better. It never does. Because no matter where I've been, no matter what I do, And I did not mean to click that. While I like Leopold optics, I did not mean to click that. No matter what I do, where I go, what have you, I'm always surrounded by this particular problem. And I think it's time for people that are fans of their communities to actually speak up and actually do something about it. I think it's time that we actually start pushing back. But what do I know? I'm just some dumb me. And I think it's really bad because they were about to release another Kickstarter that I was preparing to drop money on. They were getting ready to release another box set. I actually do like the Catalyst designs and stuff. But now I'm sitting here going, well, I don't think I can support a company that's afraid to do what they've been doing. I don't think I can support Catalyst Tops or Phonetics anymore. Because, point blank, they caved. But anyways, I've been Jackie. This has been a little bit rambly, but I didn't really have anything written for it. Later. Have fun. Bye.